The DJI Osmo Mobile is a fantastic addition to smartphone filmmaking. Affiliate link in the video description. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and I like to cover all sorts of crazy shit on my channel. I like to talk about all sorts of crazy stories from all over the world, and if I can find a quirky one that's interesting, I definitely want to shine some light on it. So I came across this today, where a man escaped a maximum security prison in South Carolina thanks to a drone. Now, that's the last thing we need are drones involved in crimes, because then the FAA is going to come down even harder, even though, to be fair, they did relax the registration, the forced registration of drone owners in the country. That was actually a thing. If you wanted to buy a drone, you had to then register it with the FAA for, I believe, $5. There might still be a commercial license you have to get if you want to do it professionally, but they've restricted back the $5 fee. So, hey, you can buy them now. But if they're going to be used in crimes, that might make a comeback. So it says here that a man in South Carolina escaped from a maximum security prison after wire cutters were delivered to him, apparently by drone. That's like the best version of Shawshank Redemption ever. Jimmy Causey, who was convicted for kidnapping in 2004, used a smuggled cell phone to arrange a delivery of wire cutters via drone. Then he cut through 4 fences and left a dummy in his bed to trick guards. This will be an episode of SVU or something one day, or this will be something that pops up on Law & Order. But the fact that, okay, so we know that when it comes to smuggling in cell phones into prison, that's not something that's uncommon. All right, a lot of people out there in prison can get their hands on cell phones. But the guy was able to then get a dummy in his bed to trick the guards. Now, that is something I want to know more about. How did he get a dummy in there? Was it just pillows and he put his shoes at the end of the bed to make it look like someone was there? Although no guard worth their salt would ever actually acknowledge that as being a real person. To see 3 lumps underneath a blanket and 2 shoes sticking straight up, they're going to be like, yeah, something's fucking fishy here, man. Right? But apparently it happened. But he also cut through 4 fences without being spotted. That's great. Prison security expert Kevin Temez told the Associated Press that heavy wire cutters would require a drone to land to complete the delivery successfully. They have to land for you to get the contraband off of them. They can't drop it like a bomb. Well, that's maybe not entirely true. You might be able to get some kind of radio frequency release, right? They might be able to get some kind of radio frequency or some kind of remote control to drop something. Are there remote control claws you could get? I'm sure there are. If not, you could probably jimmy rig one to where if you call something, then this will, trigger something and then something will fall. But I understand that what he's trying to say is that these kind of heavy wire cutters would require the drone to land in order for the I guess you could say the delivery to happen, because probably due to a number of factors like where the drone was going to land, and where, like, how far up it could have dropped it if it would have hit its target. And I understand what he's saying there, but still, I think you could probably, if you're controlling one, you could probably just hit a button on a remote somewhere and have a release. I mean, that's not out of the question, right? I mean, if you're going to go as far as to equip heavy wire cutters to a drone, you might as well go the extra step. Saying here, prisons have started installing netting to prevent people from throwing contraband over high fences, but the tactic can't stop drones. I'm sure they're going to try now. I have a feeling what they're going to do now is because in some places they're actually training eagles or hawks to rip drones out of the sky, right? And they could actually be doing that, having those situations around prisons, around maximum security prisons, where they've got hawks that they train or that to look for drones that will then rip them out of the sky. That could be something. Texas authorities also found Casey in a motel room Friday night, 3 days after he escaped. So 3 days on the run for one of the best, most ingenious plans of getting out of prison ever. That kind of sucks. You figured he would have lasted longer. But he was sentenced to life in prison 13 years ago. He had escaped prison once before in 2005 without drone technology. He and another inmate at the time hid in a garbage truck leading the prison. So this guy, Jimmy Causey, he's a kidnapper, but he's also crafty as fuck, apparently. This is the kind of guy who, if I were like a Hollywood screenwriter, I would definitely try to contact him to like pick his brain over writing a story about this. Because this is a cool enough story to where this could be part of a movie. Like, you know, good guy locked up, needs to escape prison, calls in a drone, gets what he needs, and gets out that way. Like, clearly the good guy would be using the technology here. But again, we've seen this stuff with drones, transporting meth over the border. We've, you know, heard multiple stories of that over the years. And I'm pretty sure that drones, you know, they could possibly carry some kind of release switch. I know the security experts saying they couldn't, but at the same time, we then are kind of curious how the drone was able to then land in the prison without being noticed. Drones are not silent. You know, like in the game Watch Dogs 2, you get a drone and the drone is pretty quiet and no one pays attention to it. But in reality, drones are loud. It's a quadcopter. It's loud as shit. I was at VidCon when Logan Paul did his little fucking run around the fountain thing, and there was his brother controlling a drone, and you could hear the drone amongst a crowd of screaming, pubescent 14-year-old girls that just hit sexual awakening seeing this guy run through, and you could hear it. And so I want to know how a drone was able to land in a prison to give this guy wire cutters. It doesn't make a lot of sense now, does it? It just doesn't. Like, that part to me doesn't make a lot of sense. So I have a feeling we're going to find out that this was in fact something that was dropped versus something that was landed. Although if it's landed, that really shows you the state of affairs for security at the prison, because you can hear a drone coming. And it's not like these prisons are in like heavily populated areas. They're pretty remote. And so at night, it's going to be relatively quiet. So you can hear it coming. So either it dropped from a high distance and fell in, or you have a guard that was on duty that night that looked the other way. And anything is possible. But what do you guys think happened here? I'm very curious to know what you guys think. Do you think that the drone was able to drop the heavy wire cutters in, or do you think that they landed and he was able to complete the delivery? These are things I want to know. Go ahead and let me know in the comments. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.